Right now at 5, a Missouri state trooper may have prevented a tragedy by deliberately crashing into a wrong-way driver on a Cole County highway.
And the warm front pushing through. It's going to get breezy. It's going to get warmer. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a father and son witness a plane crash just seconds ahead of their car on I-95 in Cocoa.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, December the 11th. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a warm one, if that helps.
That's going to be nice, you know.
It will be.
We've had some days where it's been a little frigid, a little cold, and I know we're going to see some more of those later.
Oh, yeah, and then it's going to warm up again. I mean, it is just relentless. This is like one of the wildest roller coasters because you get those temperature fluctuations, but I mean, 3 fronts in 3 days changing the temperatures like that, and that's what's happening right now. We have a warm front pushing in, and we're going to be warmer today. But don't worry if you like the cold. We have a cold front about 24 hours from now that'll bring the temperatures back down again. Lots of fun. Let's start with that live look from downtown Pittsburgh. It certainly made what I do a little more interesting. I mean, considering we've been dry, I know we need some more rain around the area, but considering we've been dry through all of this, it's just all of these fronts. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've looked at these different surface maps and things. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, is there something else that's contributing to these wild temperature swings? No, it's really, truly front after front after front pushing through the area. We're looking good downtown. It's a wee bit breezy this morning. It is going to get breezier, though, as the day goes on. 7th and range line looks good. KDOT camera, 469. Again, looking along 171. Looks good as well. One last stop, the MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line in Joplin. It is clear out there right now, but of course, people will eventually start to show up across the In fact, there went a truck. Right as I changed the thing, there was a truck turning. All right, 37 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh, not too far from where we were yesterday morning. And across the area, we've got low, mid, and upper 30s. Jay looks to be right now the cool spot at 31 degrees. And right now, actually, Joplin of all places, Joplin the warm spot at 37 this morning. But you factor in even that light breeze right now, and we do have those wind chills for some of us into the mid to upper 20s. So again, it does feel a little bit colder, but these winds are going to start picking up here in the next about 5 hours or so. It should start ramping up out of the southwest, and our sky conditions just like they've been the last several days. Mostly clear to partly cloudy, gusty winds, this time out of the southwest, and we will be again warmer today. How much warmer? Well, bus stop forecast or the school day forecast shows us that pretty well. 36 heading out the door, 55 lunch and recess, 59 when kids head home later today, and some of you may even make the low 60s, especially in our southwestern counties. We're going to climb low 40s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s for our highs again for most of us, but our southwestern counties easily pushing into the low 60s here and there, and southwest winds 5 to 15 gusting to 25. Now, as I mentioned, there's another cold front about 24 hours from now that's going to come in, bring our temperatures down, and we do have a bit of an Arctic blast heading into Sunday. We're going to go over those details with you and tell you when the next warm-up gets here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper may have prevented a tragedy when he stopped a driver who was driving on the wrong side of the road. It happened early Sunday morning in Cole County. The video shows the driver passing by the trooper while traveling east on the westbound lanes of the highway. The trooper started to chase the driver with lights and sirens, traveling parallel to the vehicle. He then re-entered the westbound lanes and purposely crashed into the driver. According to the probable cause statement, the 34-year-old woman told police she had consumed alcohol that night. Police say the driver was arrested and is facing several charges, including repeat DWI. Authorities responded to a Tuesday morning crash in Montgomery County involving a semi and a train. The crash happened on Highway 169 at the railroad crossing just north of Cherryvale. Authorities say the semi failed to stop and crashed with a rail car of the passing train. The semi was hauling a trailer full of cattle. The driver was airlifted to an area hospital with serious injuries. Several cattle were safely removed and transported to their destination, though some animals were hurt. Authorities in Jasper County respond to an early morning crash on Interstate 44. Responders say the crash mainly involved two semis whose trailers had broken open and spilled paper plates and small food items. Other vehicles were damaged by hitting items in the road. No word yet on the number of injuries. We'll have updates on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, it can be hard enough to avoid accidents on the road when you have to look all around you. One driver on Florida's Space Coast found out that is not always enough. Sometimes you have to look up. Megan Moriarty has the details.
A plane just landed on the highway.
A small plane landed on I-95 going southbound.
I-95, a plane just came down.
The 911 calls began pouring in.
We got help on the way.
After this small aircraft crashed down on I-95 in Cocoa on Monday night, slamming into this woman's Toyota Camry.
As we looked down the road, we could immediately see blue lights. You know, there was FHP right there, and I saw a sheriff's vehicle within seconds. So we knew that help was on the way.
Video given to West 2 from a witness shows her getting out of the car shortly after. According to Florida Highway Patrol, she had minor injuries, and the pilot and passenger of the plane, both in their late 20s, weren't hurt.
Any landing where you can walk away is a good landing.
On Wednesday, West 2 got a bird's eye view of what the plane looks like now. It was towed away by a local company and will need to be inspected by investigators. The NTSB, Florida Highway Patrol, and the FAA are looking at this from all angles to see what went wrong and if anyone was at fault.
So we hope that she'll heal quickly, and it'll be a memory that we don't want to see again.
Our community stories are often discovered by you, our viewers. We invite you to share your news tips with us. Scan the QR code and you'll be taken to a form where you can submit a tip quickly and easily. Your voice helps keep our community informed and connected. Thank you for being a part of the story. Well, law enforcement and emergency response agencies in Newton County participated in an active threat exercise. Officers and EMTs simulated an active shooter situation and a criminal gas leak situation to broaden our response tactics. Active threat training gives first responders real-world experience working in a high-stakes situation.
I think it's important that the community knows that we're out here training and we're preparing for that scenario that we hope we never have to face. But what we want them to know is that if we do have a scenario like this, we're prepared for that and we're going to be able to respond.
The Newton County Sheriff's Office thanks Sheepshed Church for offering their facilities for the training. Well, Byers Apartments in Joplin got a new makeover. The goal of the renovations was to improve safety and update code regulations for new tenants. The project was supposed to be done back in June, but the CEO of ProX Property Management said the renovations, according to the city's regulation code, turned the project into a new development. Many of the issues stemmed from environmental and health concerns.
You could see like open flames, coming from gas lines and things. We were a little nervous to be in here, and these people.
The city has been trying to evacuate the building and prevent tenants from occupying apartments during the process. Well, Joplin Outreach Group serving meals outside City Hall is being asked to relocate. City leaders say the setup is causing access concerns, but volunteers believe the location is essential. Galen's Blake Gullet has more from the group's efforts to serve the community.
I'm here asking you to relocate.
On behalf of
I'm trying to do it nicely.
On behalf of
the city of Joplin.
Louder, please.
The city of Joplin.
The city of Joplin would like what?
For you to be successful in feeding people and going to.
But not on public property.
I'm standing outside of Joplin City Hall on the same sidewalk that Hopeful Bites provides meals to those in need. But now the city says that same outreach is causing a problem and they would like the group to move. The group says their work matters in this location and they're pushing back.
The city has an obligation to help the people in the community. And if they're not willing to do so, maybe one of the organizations that gets tax benefits would be willing to do so. If not, then there's a very large problem that needs addressed, and we will be here until it is addressed.
In a letter provided to the group, the city says locating such services on any city sidewalk within the right-of-way presents multiple potential ordinance violations. The letter also states the current location has a negative impact on city operations, including foot traffic in the nearby trolley stop. For now, the group plans to continue offering meals outside of City Hall. Reported in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
The city says several local shelters, including Watered Gardens, Souls Harbor, and the Salvation Army, have offered to host a group if they choose to relocate. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. U.S. Special Forces rappel from helicopters onto a Venezuelan oil tanker in a dramatic seizure operation. Plus, U.S. soccer fans breathe a sigh of relief as the men's national team draws Australia and Paraguay for the World Cup. And a bit warm and windy condition with temps dropping this weekend. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, tensions are ratcheting up again in the Caribbean after the U.S. seized a sanctioned Venezuela oil tanker yesterday, not long after it left port. Venezuela is calling the seizure a, quote, serious international crime, and is vowing to defend its homeland. A senior military official and a source familiar with the matter say the U.S. is contemplating more operations like this one, amid a U.S. military buildup aimed at stopping drug trafficking. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
It's the moment an elite U.S. military unit rappelled from helicopters onto an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, guns drawn, executing a seizure warrant.
It was seized for a very good reason.
The Trump administration says the tanker was part of an illicit oil shipping network supporting terrorist organizations like Hezbollah, and that for years it was used to transport sanctioned oil between Venezuela and Iran. President Trump was asked about what'll happen to the oil on board.
Well, I guess so. We're going to keep the oil.
The Venezuelan government called the operation a shameless robbery and an act of international piracy. It's a dramatic escalation in the region where the U.S. has built up a major military presence and conducted at least 22 strikes on alleged drug boats. The White House says it's part of the president's push to combat drug trafficking. In an interview with Politico this week, President Trump issued a warning to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
His days are numbered.
Can you rule out an American ground invasion?
I don't want to rule in or out. I don't talk about it.
Maduro has accused the Trump administration of pressing for regime change in order to control the country's oil reserves. On Wednesday, he criticized Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who appeared in Oslo after winning the Nobel Peace Prize. She dedicated the award to the, quote, suffering people of Venezuela and President Trump. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, it's the moment an elite U.S. military unit repelled. Well, that's topping it for World Watch. Well, still to come, free school lunches boost math scores and school enrollment, according to New University of Ottawa research. Plus, a bit warm and windy condition with temps dropping this weekend. Chris has a look at your Thursday forecast. The first round matchups are mostly set for next year's FIFA World Cup, and many U.S. fans are breathing a sigh of relief. The men's national team is in a group with Australia and Paraguay, two teams it beat in just the past few weeks. The fourth team in their group will be determined in March. The U.S. is a host nation for the tournament, along with Canada and Mexico. The men's team has never won a World Cup, and we're joined now by the man hoping to change that, head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
In 185 short days, the FIFA Men's World Cup will be co-hosted by the U.S., and it just held the draw for the first round matches. Some good news in that. Team USA is in a group with Australia and Paraguay, two teams we beat in the past few weeks. The fourth team in the group will be decided by a playoff coming up in March. Now, the U.S. men's team has never won a World Cup. However, we now have a fantastic coach, and he's going to change that.
Yes.
Mauricio Pochettino.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. Yes, we're excited for you.
All right, Coach.
And us.
Tell us about this draw. We've got Australia and Paraguay. You feel good about this?
I think now we are all excited, waiting for the World Cup. By the way, if it's one team or another, I think we are excited in the same way. But of course, the reference that we played a few months ago about these two teams make us to be optimistic. But I think we need to try to improve ourselves to be better and in 6 months to be much better, to be in a better position, in a better place to try to, to settle the mentality and try to win every single game.
But Coach, you have said it's not about picking the best players; it's about picking the right players.
Exactly.
So you're putting your team together. What does it take to get your attention? I'm wondering how many people are calling you, going, "Coach, my son's very good," or "Coach, I'm very good." Yeah, moms and dads, and husbands
amazing
and wives.
that the message that I receive, some people say, "Oh, Coach, I want to play for you," and he's playing I don't know where, in the rest of the world. But I think, yes, it's really tough. It's really tough because I think we have a pool of 70 plus players that we were using in the last year, and I think the competition is there.
What are you looking for? I want to know what
I'm looking
gets your
for
attention.
the best of the things is to be able, the player, to let us to coach, not to think too much, respect the rules, show commitment, because I think, and the most important, like you say, that was perfect.
Yeah.
The right player
Yeah.
to defend our flag, our badge.
Of course.
It's our culture and all that represent that society, that is America, that you are a winner.
Of course.
I am a winner too because I come from Argentina. No?
Yeah.
But I think that is the most important, is to represent in the best way our values. No?
Yeah, and speaking of that, you played in one World Cup back in 2002.
2002 in Japan.
How do you take your own experiences as a player and try to really inject that into the fabric of this team?
Yes, my experience was not so good because I think we were out of the group stage so quick. But during 5 years, we were the best team in Argentina, an amazing team. But it's like what I want to translate to our player is the World Cup is already started.
Yeah.
And we need to do everything to arrive in the best condition not to have any feeling to say, oh, I regret because I didn't do this or I didn't do that. I think to give everything because it's going to be a unique event.
Yeah.
And it's in the opportunity to be in our country and to settle and to, the legacy for the future in soccer, for our kids, for the people that love that and feel the passion for that game. And I think we have an unbelievable opportunity, and we need to feel special.
Of course.
Special, that is the responsibility, but the responsibility that after we need to deal very well when arrive the moment to show our talent, because talent with responsibility sometimes is not good.
Are you nervous? I want to
combination.
know how you feel. Are you nervous? I know you're
I am
excited.
not nervous. I am
You
excited.
are not. No, you're not nervous.
No, but if you say to me, I have nervous, yes, but the normal nervous that make me be really competitive. I'm very aggressive. I'm very, excited about
It's the nerves that you're saying, I want to kill it and knock it out of the park. Because I know Argentina has very good beef, so we want to see some good soccer too.
Yes, of course. we that is a good example. But I think also we try to bring to soccer and to the players some strategy. The other day, because I am from Argentina and the last year I am very involved, in here to try to learn from you the culture and everything. I was in Washington for the draw. I was in the Capitol. I was in Arlington, in the cemetery. And I seen all this type of thing that make you to feel that
Of course.
we have in from,
Well, on behalf
we're
of
looking forward to it.
365 million of us.
Yes.
You
we're
got our
rooting for you.
support. Mauricio
Thank you so
Pochettino, thank you so much
And
for
he
joining
came
us.
bearing gifts.
Well, I don't know a lot about soccer, but anytime the World Cup happens, it just makes me want to watch Ted Lasso again. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Well, you might be able to experience a realistic Ted Lasso if you head up to Kansas City, if you're lucky to get in. I think we're kind of beyond that point, but very cool that we've got some of these games taking place rather close to home. It's going to be warm and windy today. Yesterday was cool and windy. Tomorrow will be cool and windy. We'll break down details for you and talk about a bigger drop in temperatures this weekend when we come back. Time now, 5:24. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:26 now. On this Thursday morning, we're going to, of course, start with the future track, which is no major changes. It's just the wind changes direction and the temperatures change. The rest of the forecast still a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies today. Within the next few hours, again, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, winds from the southwest will start to increase, and we'll start getting those gusts upwards of about 25 miles an hour or so. But outside of that, we are dry. We will be warmer today because that warm front is rolling through right now, and it's bringing in some of that warmer air, which we'll start to experience a little later. Now, 23 hours and 34 minutes from now, this is another cold front right here from Coffeyville back toward Joplin and Mount Vernon along I-44 by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's a cold front, which means it's going to get cool again. We'll have north winds back behind it. Could be a bit on the gusty side. Sky conditions still a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. We'll have those gusty north winds, and we will be cooler, but we'll still be dry. Now, as for Saturday's still not looking too bad. We're not looking at any big temperature shifts. For a moment, at least, we don't have a front passing through the area. What we do have is in the upper levels, a very powerful system coming in. Now, it is going to do something, and it's just not nice, but what it's going to do is it's bringing could be a pretty decent winter weather event, at least some good snow off to our north and east. In fact, there's winter weather advisories, I think when I looked earlier, that stretch from Nebraska back into Tennessee and Kentucky. And it's going to miss us to the northeast. That's where it gets unfair, because if it's going to get cold, my thought is it might as well at least snow a little, right? No. We're going to be close enough to this disturbance, though, that our temperatures from Saturday night into Sunday are really going to drop, and it is going to be bitterly cold out there. First this morning, again, not bad. We'll warm up a little faster once those southwest winds kick in, and you can, again, see kind of when that takes place here. We're going to start in the upper 30s, low 50s by 11 a.m. I think the majority of us are looking at highs into the upper 50s today, and again, some of our southwestern counties easily could make 61, 62, and we'll have southwest winds gusting to 25. Winds will shift out of the west late tonight into the overnight hours ahead of that approaching front, still gusting to 25. We will fall back into the upper 40s by 10. We'll be partly cloudy overnight, back into the upper 30s, and then tomorrow that front will push through. And like I said, it's not a huge drop, but I mean, it's still 12 degrees cooler than where we're going to be today. We're going to go into the upper 40s tomorrow, down into the upper 20s Friday night. Now, Saturday, still upper 40s. And this is what I was talking about, though. We are just close enough to this system not to get the snow or anything else from it other than that. We're talking low to mid-teens Saturday night. We are talking wind chills heading into Sunday morning that could be below zero. So you do need to be aware of that, especially if you're heading out for church, other activities on Sunday. You want to make sure you're prepared, because this is going to be one of our coldest points so far. Because with the winds, we're talking wind chills, 0, 5 below, 10 below. So just be aware of that. And only into the upper 20s on Sunday. But then see how we don't drop very far? That's because Mother Nature's not done messing with us. Look at those numbers next week. I don't know. I don't know what we've done. I don't know what Mother Nature is doing. I don't know if she knows what she's doing, but we're going to start warming up again through the 40s. Got some slight rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and could see the low 60s again by next weekend. So we'll go from 30 on Sunday to 63 next Saturday. Lots of fun in the 4 states. That's checking your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Free and subsidized school lunches lead to modest gains in math scores and school enrollment. According to scientists from the University of Ottawa, this happens in both high-income countries and low- and middle-income countries, and also contributes to small gains in height and weight for children. Only 7% of women are properly follow up cervical cancer screening guidelines, which includes pap smears and HPV testing. University of Washington researchers say about 61% are overscreened and 31% underscreened. They say changing guidelines have likely caused confusion among patients, clinicians, and health systems. And a new analysis shows slowly tapering off antidepressants, and receiving therapy is the most effective method for stopping antidepressants for patients who have recovered from depression. The research published in Lancet Psychiatry found this strategy is as effective as treating depression as if the adult never stopped taking their medication. Researchers found it can prevent 1 relapse in every 5 individuals compared to the abrupt stopping or fast tapering of medication. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a group of Missouri residents moved to block a proposed congressional map. The story of people, not politicians.
And we've got a warm front pushing through. We will warm up today. We will still be breezy. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
And later, Santa's sleigh gets an upgrade as Crawford County first graders ride the Christmas Express train from Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:34. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, December the 10th, and we're almost to the weekend, but this weekend it is going to get very cold. We're talking Sunday morning, we're talking wind chills below zero. So one of our coldest days so far.
I am saving my heavy Christmas sweaters that I always wear on my day off for this weekend because I was like, it's going to be the time I don't get really hot in them.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be
I
cold.
mean, if you go outside, for sure, you'll definitely not get too terribly hot in your sweaters. I'm probably just going to stay inside, and I can look at the cold from out the window, and that will be fine by me. But before we get to there, it's going to be warm again today. It's going to be about 10 to 12 degrees warmer today than where we were yesterday, which is okay because yesterday was about a 10-degree drop from where we were on Tuesday, which was a 10-degree rise from where we were to start the week. So
a real roller coaster.
I'm telling you, man, it is something else. Just front after front after front, and our warm front coming through today. We're going to start with our live look downtown Pittsburgh. It is pushing through. Right now, we do have a light breeze, and you can see from our camera there, not a lot of motion or movement from anything yet. But in the next few hours, probably about 10 o'clock or so, southwest winds will start to increase across the region. Our camera, 7th and range line, looking pretty good so far this morning. Same from the KDOT camera at 69, 400, and 171. Of course, this part here is 171, and it looks okay. Looks pretty good. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line. Folks waiting for that light. Hey, yeah, it's so funny. I said the last few days, we always caught this camera when the light was red. This is twice now. We've caught it turning green, and now everybody's gone. Where'd they go? They're off to start their day, and it's going to be a pretty decent one temperature-wise. Temperatures this morning, not really all that dissimilar from yesterday morning. We're at 37 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, we've got most of us low, mid, upper 30s. In fact, 30s across the board. Now, Jay still is the cool spot at 31, and Joplin is actually still the warm spot at 37. But you factor in, even at least right now, that light breeze, and some of us, we've got those wind chills in the mid to upper 20s. We got some low 30s, so it does feel a wee bit colder out there, but like I said, the wind not too terribly bad yet. But by 10 o'clock or so, it starts to increase out of the southwest, gusting upwards of anywhere from about 20, 25, maybe even upwards of 30 miles an hour times, but averaging about 25. Skies, much like they've been the last few days, a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy. Kids heading out the door this morning, about 36. We're looking at about 55 when they come home. For lunch and recess, 59 when they come home. Our southwestern counties, some of you could get 61, 62 today. I think most of us are headed for the upper 50s. We'll go low 40s by 9, mid 50s by noon. Again, upper 50s for the majority of us for our highs, and those southwest winds gusting to 25. Now, of course, because Mother Nature's in a weird mood, we have a cold front coming in a little less than 24 hours from now, and it will bring our temperatures back down. And then we've got that big cool down heading into Saturday night into Sunday. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Southeast Kansas hospitals and mental health centers unite for patients in the 4-state area. A number of Southeast Kansas healthcare providers have come together to form a new coalition. Southeast Kansas Health includes Labette Health, Wilson Medical Center, Labette Center for Mental Health Services, 4 County Mental Health Center Incorporated, and Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center. The coalition aims to get residents the right care close to home. Well, a group of Missouri residents is moving forward with a petition to block a newly proposed congressional map. As John Lieber reports, the group, People, Not Politicians, say they have the numbers to back the proposal.
For the show me state, you're going to have to show us, give us a good reason. You just can't pull this kind of stunt for no reason.
Members of People Not Politicians delivered nearly 300,000 signatures to halt the state legislature's newly passed congressional district map. The initiative petition is one of the largest referendum turn-ins in Missouri history.
It is about putting people's voices into action. Every box that you carry, every sheet, carries the aspirations of a Missourian.
The submission effectively places a hold on the map approved by lawmakers in September until voters can weigh in at the ballot box next November. The new map, drawn to help President Donald Trump hold on to a Republican majority in the U.S. House, focuses on Metro Kansas City, splitting one area, now represented by Democrat Emanuel Cleaver, into 3 congressional districts, none of them winnable by Democrats.
People see that as, well, what's the emergency here? What's the change that we need to make? When the answer to that is the change is about achieving a partisan goal, then it becomes very clear to Missourians.
Assuming the map achieves its purpose, the new map would give the GOP a 7-1 majority in the Show Me State. Republican Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins indicated he would invalidate some 92,000 signatures because they were collected before October 15th, when the petition was approved by his office. A Cole County judge is considering a People Not Politicians lawsuit against Hoskins, a suit that claims such invalidation violates the Constitution.
The idea of silencing Missourians' voices who are expressing their constitutional right will never be water under the bridge for us. It will never be inconsequential.
Even without the 92,000 signatures, the group still surpasses the 107,000 valid signatures needed to place this issue on the ballot.
I'm very confident that when the signatures are checked, we are going to have enough signatures to qualify.
But Von Glahn says they will not drop the court battle over signatures collected before October 15th.
Because those signatures are representations of Missourians petitioning their government for redress. Core First Amendment fundamental rights, the things that we learn about in grade school.
In a separate case, a federal judge Monday refused to back a challenge by Republican Attorney General Catherine Hanaway and other GOP leaders that sought to prevent a statewide vote on redistricting. Judge Zachary Bluestone said the federal court lacked jurisdiction in the matter.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Federal Reserve cuts interest rates for the third straight time, bringing rates to their lowest level in 3 years. In Consumer Watch, the Federal Reserve has issued its third straight interest rate cut. The FDA is warning of a nationwide nasal spray recall, and Cameo is offering users some holiday magic with a special message from Santa Claus. The Federal Reserve has cut its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 percentage point, bringing the federal funds rate to its lowest level in more than 3 years. The central bank has also signaled that it could just issue one rate cut next year, though Fed officials say they will make the decision based on further economic data. There's a nationwide recall of one lot of Reboost nasal spray. The FDA says the product contains mold and yeast, as well as a microbial contamination. No adverse effects have been reported so far, though the agency says there's reasonable risk that the product could cause immunocompromised people to develop life-threatening infections. People are urged to stop using the nasal spray and contact the place of purchase for a refund. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are going to warm up again today as a warm front's passing through the area right now. It'll be a bit breezy as well. Then a little less than 24 hours from now, another cold front pushes through, brings our temperatures back down. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast when we come back. Time now, 5:44.
6 more states are cracking down on food stamp recipients from buying certain foods. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. 6 new states have signed on to get SNAP food choice waivers. They are Hawaii, Missouri, North Dakota, South Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. That means starting next year, people in those states won't be able to use food stamps to purchase certain items, such as soft drinks and candy. That means there are now 18 states implementing a variety of restrictions under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. A New York City woman has filed suit against Chipotle, DoorDash, and the delivery driver who brought her food. That's after she claims she found a rodent in her burrito bowl. The plaintiff claiming she experienced pain, shock, and severe mental anguish due to the incident. Her lawsuit alleges that when eating the meal, she, quote, bit into a rodent contained within the meal. Now, Chipotle is denying the allegations and says it will vigorously defend itself against the claims. And we're used to sweet potatoes that are yellow or orange, but purple varieties are gaining in popularity. The California Farm Bureau reports about 1,000 acres of the purple variety are now being grown in the Golden State. California produces about 25% of all U.S. grown sweet potatoes, but recently overall sweet potato sales have slumped, and growers are hoping new varieties could turn the sector around. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, it's Gonna be a little warmer today, breezy again. Just as soon as he said that they're hoping new varieties of sweet potatoes will increase sales. You know, in Jurassic World, it was slumping sales of tickets for the regular dinosaurs, and so they decided to invent a dinosaur, and we know what happened there. Now, I don't think colored sweet potatoes are going to come after us at any time ever, but I mean, that's where that's where we are. I mean, okay, well, you're bored with the sweet potatoes. Let's make them purple now. All right. Here's what, honestly, you're not going to be bored with the weather because you're always going to be switching your wardrobe back and forth over the next several days. Today, you'll want to dress a little lighter. I mean, it's not summertime heat. You know, don't break out the shorts, but we are going to have gusty southwest winds, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and temperatures about 10 to 12 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. That makes up for yesterday because yesterday we were about 10 to 12 degrees cooler than the day prior. Now, at almost the same time, 5 a.m. Friday. You see this boundary here? This is another front. This one's another cold front. So our temperatures are going to drop again tomorrow by about 10 to 12 degrees. So whatever gains we make today, we will lose tomorrow. We'll also have gusty north winds back behind this, and we'll still continue with that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we go through our Friday. Now Saturday, temperatures kind of about level out. And the only reason that we don't see any big changes on Saturday, in fact, right now highs on Saturday are looking to be pretty close to what we get on Friday, is because the jet stream, there's an upper level disturbance. We've got winter weather advisories, and I said, I think at last look, they go from like Nebraska, the Dakotas, all the way back down into Tennessee and Kentucky. They don't include us because any snow on Sunday or Saturday night into Sunday is going to stay off to our north and east, but we're going to be just close enough that we'll get some of the cloud cover from that, and we will get the temperature drop associated with it. We'll have some gusty winds building in late Saturday. And that's actually a big deal because it's going to be one of the coldest nights really and coldest starts so far this particular winter season. And so you need to be prepared for that heading into Sunday morning. We'll talk about that in a moment. For today though, be prepared for the warmer weather. We'll start in the upper 30s. We'll warm up quickly. See, this is where those southwest winds start to ramp up, is between about 9 and 10. And so that's why our temperatures make bigger jumps here, eventually in the low 50s by 11. I think the majority of us are looking at highs into the upper 50s, but we could get some low 60s, especially in our southwestern counties, 61, 62. And while those southwest winds 5 to 15, gusting to 25. Into the evening, partly cloudy skies will continue. We'll go down into the upper 40s by 10, upper 30s overnight. Winds shift out of the west ahead of that front, still gusting upwards of 25. Tomorrow, north winds gusting to 20, cooler, upper 40s. We stay in the upper 40s into Saturday. Like I said, that system gets just close enough that happens. We drop down into the teens, the low teens, maybe even some upper single digits. With the gusty winds associated with this heading into Sunday and the fact our highs are only into the upper 20s, we are looking at the potential, especially Sunday morning, for wind chills below zero. So that's what I mean by it is a bit more serious. It is a bit more of a significant drop in temperatures, especially the wind chill consideration. And with Sunday, you've got church, you're heading out, whatever it is you may be doing Sunday morning, you really need to bundle up and limit your time outside because, I mean, we're talking wind chills from 0 to 10 below can be dangerous. And with highs only into the upper 20s, it's not going to be that great. But it's Sunday night. We don't cool off that much because we warm up again next week, starting into the 40s, the 50s, and eventually maybe some low 60s by next weekend with some slight rain chances Tuesday through Thursday. Let's check your forecast. We're going to be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Crawford County first graders and special education students got to experience a holiday train ride on the Christmas Express yesterday. Watco and South Kansas Oklahoma Railroad sponsored 2 festive trips that departed from Pittsburgh. The event featured a visit from Santa, Mrs. Claus, and Santa's elves, along with a safety lesson on railroad track awareness. Organizers say this heartwarming tradition brings holiday cheer and education to the community every year.
We just, teach them, we show some videos, we give them activity books with exercises about where to stop at railroad crossings, how far to stay back, don't put things on the tracks, things like that, just pretty basic stuff because, these are 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
More than 550 students took part in the train ride. Well, Taylor Swift appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where she was asked to name her top 5 songs from her own catalog. Swift said she wasn't ready to commit to a full list yet, explaining she needs more time to reflect on her work. She did say All Too Well, the 10-minute version, would be her #1 choice, and mentioned Mirror Ball from her Folklore album as another likely contender. She told Colbert she may give a full updated list in the future.
And we've got warmer weather on the way today. We're going to go upper 30s to start, and we'll be into the low 50s by 11 because right around 9 and 10, our southwest winds start picking up. They'll start gusting on us. They help warm us up, but they do bring windier conditions. And once again, they'll be gusting upwards of 25 through the day. I think most of us are looking at highs into the upper 50s. Some of our southwestern communities, or counties and communities really, could reach 61, 62 out there. So it could be a little warmer. We're about 10 to 12 degrees warmer today than yesterday, but it's okay because tomorrow will be 10 to 12 degrees cooler than we are today. We'll be partly cloudy through the evening, upper 40s by 10, upper 30s overnight. Winds ahead of the cold front tomorrow morning will shift out of the west, still gusting to 25. Cold front comes in roughly the same time this warm front came in, early tomorrow morning. We're into the upper 40s. We'll have north winds gusting upwards of 20. Excuse me, then Saturday. We're all right. I'm all right. We're getting back into the upper 40s, and then we get that Arctic air down into the teens by Saturday night. Upper 20s Sunday, and with gusty winds, we're looking at that chance of wind chills 0 to 10 below 0. 0 to 10 below 0 is what I mean to say. So be prepared for a bitterly cold start Sunday. We'll start warming up next week. I'm going to get some water, and we'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.